Now, are our next guests standing by? You're telling me to wrap, but you're not even telling me about the guests. I mean, really. A new look New York Rick is coming up on the post show. I repeat, a new look New York Rick is coming on the post show. Matter of moments, we are going to be joined by the legend, Matt Hughes, who has not done a lot of interviews over this past year. Of course, you may recall that he was involved in that very serious car accident last June. He was driving in his car. He was hit by a train. He has made what can only be described as a miraculous comeback, a recovery unlike any recovery. This is unbelievable. And right now on UFC Fight Pass, they have put up the new documentary directed by the great Rory Karpf, my friend, who has directed some great docs for this very network, 30 for 30. The I Hate Christian Laettner doc. He did the CM Punk miniseries prior to his debut. He produces Looking for a Fight. It's out right now on UFC Fight Pass. If you're a subscriber, you can watch it. It's called The Country Boy Can't Survive, and it is very emotional. It is inspiring. It is unbelievable to watch. So without further ado, let us say hello to the former UFC welterweight champion, a walking inspiration, and of course, Rory Karpf as well. But first, let's say hello to Matt Hughes, who joins us on the phone. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Matt. I really appreciate you joining us. And Rory, thank you very much for joining us as well.
Hey, thanks for having us on here.
Matt, it's so great to hear your voice, and it's so great to have you on the show. And it was an incredible documentary. It was emotional. It's unbelievable what you have had to overcome. I'm wondering, have you seen the documentary? And if so, what is it like for you to watch it?
Yes, I watched at the UFC thing in New York, and it was very emotional for me.
How are you feeling right now, Matt? How would you describe how you're feeling?
I'm 90%. My balance isn't the best, but I can live with that. I don't fall, but I just, if someone pushes me, I could stumble easy.
Have the doctors told you that you will improve even more, or are they saying that this is, 90% is unbelievable considering what you've overcome? Is this how good that it's going to get for you?
I just keep thinking I'm going to get better. To me, those doctors don't know Matt Hughes.
Right. I would imagine early on there were doctors who told you that you would never get anywhere close to this, right?
Yes. I think the doctors were surprised I walked out of the hospital.
Was there fear early on that you wouldn't be able to at all?
I think the doctors didn't put any faith in me.
Is that the kind of thing that, given how competitive you are, given your background as an athlete, as a high-level athlete, as a champion, did that almost fuel you and give you more motivation to try to get back to 100%?
Definitely. I always fought best when I was the underdog.
Yep, and we saw that firsthand. And, of course, when your back was against the wall against the likes of Frank Trigg as well, you were always very inspirational as a fighter. I'm curious, Matt, do you remember anything from that day, the day that you got into the accident?
No.
Do you have any idea what, is there any way, was there anyone around you that knows what happens? Do you have any idea how it happened?
No.
Okay. Do you remember?
The good thing is no one was in the truck with me, and I just don't know. I don't remember what I was even doing that day.
Okay, so even like that morning or the night before, you don't remember what was going on in your life?
No recollection at all.
When does your memory come back? Like, do you remember at some point being in the hospital, starting to do you have any recollection of when you start to remember things?
When I woke up, I remember that, and before the accident, I remember everything.
Okay. And how is your day-to-day life now? How is it? How are you spending your time?
I just like to be busy, so I just always stay busy doing something. My life's a lot different. Before, it was so exciting, and now I don't have that excitement.
Is your goal to try to get back to that point?
No, I was a bad person before, so I don't want to go down that road again.
What do you mean when you say you were a bad person?
I was sinning.
You were sinning?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like that's why this happened? Are you blaming yourself for this?
Yes, I think God was driving the train, and then after he hit me, he helped me through everything.
Wow. Okay. Do you live with regret now?
Yes, because all the sinning I was doing.
And how is your family life now?
Family life is very good, but I have such a strong wife that you know.
Right. And Rory, for you, how did you get involved in making this documentary?
Well, this is a film that UFC wanted to do as a part of their 25th anniversary short films, and it was very important to Dana, and also that it was told the right way. And to UFC's credit, they kind of just said, do what you want. You tell emotional, heartfelt stories, and we just want it to feel real. And I think, to back up Matt's point, we kind of go in the film how Matt was before the accident and afterwards. And, Matt's wife, Audra, says in the film that Matt kind of didn't know what love was until after that train hit him. So, and he says that it really humbled him quite a bit. And I feel that it was, pretty big honor to be able to tell this story that is still, very fresh and very emotional for this entire family. It was just a little over a year ago this all happened.
Right. Matt, did you feel comfortable having cameras on you as you were recovering? Given how proud you are, how strong you are, was that something that you were comfortable with?
Yes, because I think my wife didn't like cameras in there when I was weak, and she didn't want people to see how much of a situation I had.
And as Rory said, your wife is very honest in the interview, or in the documentary, I should say, about not knowing what love is. Is that hard for you to listen? Is that the first time you've heard her say that, or are these things that she has said to you in the past? Because I have to be honest, watching it, I was like, wow, this is truly honest. I mean, they're talking about very personal things. I was wondering how you felt when you heard that.
I knew she taught me what love was. That's like the first thing I learned after the accident. She would push me in a wheelchair, and I couldn't talk very well, so I would just tap on my shoulder, and that meant for her to give me her phone, and I would tap it. My first text was, "Who are you?" And she stopped the wheelchair and come up in front of me, and she said, "I'm your wife." I said, I didn't tap my shoulder. I said, "Let me see your driver's license."
Wow.
So she got her driver's license out and showed it to me, and I was just glad I made a good-looking wife.
Yes. You are a very lucky man.
And Ariel, I think as you saw in the film, Matt's wife and a friend of Matt's recorded all of his rehabilitation on a phone. So, as a filmmaker, they basically just gave me this treasure trove of material. So you get to see Matt in the film literally the day he comes into the hospital after the accident. There's photos of him. You see him in a comatose state and kind of see him in, metaphorically, this fight of his life as he goes from almost an invalid to walking again, talking again. And we're really able to chart his journey in the film thanks to this incredible archival material.
Wow, yeah, it's unbelievable. It's hard to watch at times, but then at the end, seeing how much you have overcome, Matt, it's truly amazing. It's inspiring, and it's it's a testament to who you are as an individual and what we've known about you as a fighter. Now we see you as a human being overcoming these incredible challenges. I recall that scene in St. Louis in January when you walked out, and that was very emotional. It was a very nice gesture on the UFC's part. What was going through your mind as you were walking out to your music in that arena just around 10 months ago?
I love it, and I was fine till I saw my wife. Then I started crying when I saw her because she was tore up too.
Are you able to watch fights? I know you've been to, do you like that, or is it difficult for you to watch fights because it reminds you of how you used to be?
I can watch it. It doesn't bother me. I just wish these guys would get in there and try to kick some ass.
They're not made how they used to be made?
That's what I think.
Wow. And what about your old fights? Do you watch those for inspiration?
No. Especially the ones I lost, those, I don't watch them at all.
What about your victories?
No. I'm a different person than the fighter. I'm just a family man now, so I just do whatever the kids want.
And how are things with your kids these days?
Good. Good as far as I know.
Okay. Rory, how long did you spend with Matt and his family?
Off and on for a few months. And, his family was incredible, especially his children, as I'm sure you'll attest to in the film, Ariel. I know you have daughters, right? Or a daughter.
Yep.
And Matt's daughters, the way they opened up in the film was so, I was crying behind the camera when they were talking to me. So his children are pretty amazing. His son Joey and his daughter are, they kind of live this fight with him. And so much times in fighting, you don't get to see the families or the spouses and what they go through. Even with Conor and Khabib, they both have families, and you don't really hear too much about them or see them too much. So I really wanted to get his family's perspective. And, you were asking Matt, too, about watching fights again, and is it tough and all that. I really think Matt, when you watch the film, how incredible and miraculous it is that this guy is alive. Getting hit by a train and surviving and being able to function afterwards is like surviving a plane crash. It's just very, very rare, and I think few people could have survived what he did. And the fact that he's able to walk and talk and attend events is pretty incredible, and a real, I think, testament to Matt's spirit as a human being.
Yeah, I think it's very fair to call Matt a walking miracle. Do you feel comfortable saying that, Matt? Do you feel like it is a miracle that you are still alive?
I think a lot of people would have done the same thing. I don't see much special.
Wow. All right.
I don't know. I disagree with that one.
Me too.
Because I think that, and also to Matt's credit, I don't know many people that would come on and say they weren't a good person before or they sinned. Matt is incredibly introspective, and I think shows a real level of humility that I think he would say as a fighter he didn't have. So it's really given him a perspective what happened, and also probably has really shown him how much people care for him, his family, his friends, and also the fans. So, maybe you could argue some positives come out of this situation.
I agree with you there.
It was no surprise, but it was beautiful to see how many people were trying to send positive messages your way early on in this process. Are you at least aware? Are you able? I know you don't have Twitter anymore, but have you been made aware of the messages that people were writing about you, trying to give you any kind of pick me up that they could?
Somewhat, but I'm sure I didn't see them all.
But you know how much you are loved in this sport, right?
I'm a lucky man.
Well, Matt, I wish you the very best. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was done, buddy.
Okay. Well, what an honor it is to talk to you, and so cool to see you and BJ Penn also together, and this friendship. I know he's helped you out a lot as well, right?
Yes. I have an important question.
Please.
What shoes are you wearing?
I appreciate your memory is just as good as it ever was, Matt. I'm wearing cherry blossom shoes at the moment, Nike cherry blossom shoes. How about that? Do they sound good to you?
You should put a picture on Twitter or Facebook so people can see what you're wearing.
I appreciate it. Okay, I will do that. You always liked my shoes, right?
Yes.
You were mad at me one time when you saw me in dress shoes at an event. You thought I sold out.
That's not you.
That's not me. I got to stay true to who I am.
I agree.
Rory.
Ariel, I'll tell you very quickly, when we were filming, there's this scene where Matt is lifting weight, and he was kind of famous for pressing up an incredible amount of weight with one hand, kind of doing like a tip up, I guess you would call it. And he would not let me leave until I did one. He kept making me do more and more weight and was shouting expletives at me when I couldn't get the weight up. So I almost, threw my back out and got a major hernia because Matt was shaming me in the amount of weight I could lift. So.
Wow. Once a competitor, always a competitor.
I'd love to compete.
Matt, in closing, is there anything that you want to say to those fans who were sending messages your way, who continue to love you and support you? Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
I want to say thanks for all the prayers first, because the big men helped me through the whole thing. But thanks for all the prayers and letters and all the everything they did.
Rory, where can people watch this?
The film is available on UFC Fight Pass starting today. So get Fight Pass. You can watch it right now. And, there's a lot of really incredible films that are exclusive to Fight Pass, 25 altogether. But there's a film on Chuck Liddell, film on the Lion's Den. There's some really incredible stuff, one on Dana and the Fertittas. So I encourage everyone to subscribe to Fight Pass and check them out.
We will do just that. I urge everyone to do it as well. Matt, we love you. We're pulling for you. We're thinking about you. We're so happy that you're still here, that you have your memory, that you're still at the fights from time to time. And I hope you know that the extended MMA community family is all behind you and all wishing you nothing but the best.
Thank you and everyone else, buddy.
All right, we will talk to you soon, and keep up the good vibes, and we hope that you'll make it to 100% soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much, Rory. I do suggest you check that out as soon as possible. It's a phenomenal and heartbreaking and emotional documentary, but that man is a walking miracle. And as Rory said, kudos to him for being honest about maybe some past transgressions and being honest about what he's had to perhaps make up for now with his new situation. And kudos to his wife for standing by him and for being there for him. I'm sure it has not been an easy year and a half for his family, but to think that he was hit by a train and he is still around, walking, talking, memory. He would always come up to me at the events. And when I started to work for Fox and I decided on my own to wear a suit with dress shoes, because I would usually wear, the jeans and the Nikes, he called me out and he said that I had sold out. And he didn't like that. And quite frankly, I am shocked that he even remembers that. I saw him at an event in Chicago, the UFC 225 event, and he seemed to be in great spirits with BJ Penn. Just amazing. Just amazing. So check that out on UFC Fight Pass. I can't recommend it enough. And again, so great to hear from Matt Hughes.